On the count of 3, go ahead and get started. 1, 2, 3, go. So it looks like we have a small delay for each person here. Wolf, you're good. You're gonna start as soon as yeah. All right, so Eviona off to a small lead here. So since we kind of had a rough start, you guys want to go ahead and just pause? We'll go ahead and just start again. Sorry. If you guys want to jump back to the main menu, we'll try again. Looks like you guys had a small issue there. Oh, I don't think you guys can hear me. Alright, we'll keep going. So, Eviona already passed the first boss. Looks like Wolf is actually not on new game, so we'll see how this works for Eviona. Eviona using just swords and katana, so Wolf does have a little bit of an advantage. He's able to use the white gun. The white gun actually does more damage based on your style at the top right. So by holding a style of S rank, he can actually do a little bit more. So that'll actually kind of help him out. Eviona just wrapping up this boss here. Wolf is he's getting pretty close. So keeping the S rank is going to be very important for him. So the difference between a new game and a freestyle run, biggest thing to watch out for is having different kinds of equipment and all that. So by Wolf using the extra gear, that'll kind of help him keep up with Eviona. Eviona is one of our top runners in the game, so it is kind of tricky for a newcomer to come in just kind of play against Eviona, but he's actually doing pretty well. Eviona has taken a couple hits, while Wolf actually still remains at full health here, so that's actually really well done there. So Eviona starting up the final boss for the first stage here. Deflecting all of those bullets actually is going to be very beneficial. Now, Wolf would be able to use the white gun, so deflecting may not necessarily be the best option, but any kind of deflects definitely do help, but using the white gun is going to help speed the boss kill pretty quick. Eviona, we're just wrapping up the first boss there, with Wolf just behind actually. So Wolf just finished up his first stage, so let's see how fast they can get through this. Eviona starting highway. Really good movements. Wolf just wrapping up the news segment. Eviona now at Kitty Chopper. So Kitty Chopper has a couple different moves. It is pretty RNG based. You're really hoping to get some good deflects, but if they shoot the wrong rockets and stuff, there's not a whole lot you can do. So it is pretty RNG based, just for talking speed wise. Wolf now arriving to Kitty Chopper. Not too far behind, and having the white gun's definitely going to help out. He does have to re-get his style up, which is going to take a little bit longer, but he did get a good deflect where Kitty Chopper flies into you, giving you a little bit extra time and a little bit extra damage. So that's definitely going to help. He's up to a rank A, so his style is going to be doing a little bit more damage. As soon as he gets to the S rank, though, he should be able to fly a lot faster. Eviona now starting the first rival fight here. So the game is definitely very RNG based, so you have to look at a couple different things. So there's different moves that each boss can use for attacks, and if you get a good attack that can make it so you can deflect it, that's usually where you're going to get a lot of your time saves. So Wolf now just starting up the first rival fight, but he did get a good RNG right there, so he got a deflectable rocket, so that's definitely going to speed him up a little bit. Eviona just getting to the first rival encounter. Wolf not too far behind, since he does have that white S rank gun out. And Wolf actually, if he uses the rocket launcher at the next part here, he can actually just completely skip this entire fight, basically. So we'll see if he's able to keep that up, and see if he can do that. Wolf now arriving to Valentine. Eviona only through one cycle, so this fight does take quite a bit. But if Wolf is using a rocket launcher, he can, like I said, he can basically skip this entire fight. So there you can see he can blow out the shields, kind of giving him a little bit of advantage there. So as long as he can keep that up, he should be able to kind of pass through pretty quickly. Eviona still has 2 phases left, wrapping up the second phase right now. Wolf has now completed fighting Valentine, so he'll be skipping to the next level, but Eviona not too far behind. This is one of those areas that it is a pretty big skip if you can have the rocket launcher, but it definitely doesn't have, there's not a whole lot more of those that are going to be coming in the future, so we'll see how Eviona can play against that. Wolf now starting the chase, so this is almost like a side scroller. You kind of have to just wait until everything pops up before you can kill it. Eviona finishing up the stage, now going to the next stage. So really, it's just a barrage of enemies until you get to the final, the next boss. So Wolf really has to watch his health and make sure that he keeps his style up. Keeping that style up is really going to help him to kind of get through this, get through the bosses a lot faster. Now, if he does get hit, he loses that style, being a lot harder for him to build that back up. And if he can't build that up, it really does slow him down. So now, while he is using the style, the weight gun, he's also adding a little handicap to himself as well by needing to keep his health up. Where Eviona, if Eviona gets hit, he's perfectly fine. He has no issues with that. They actually both just finished the boss together. They're probably about 10 seconds apart. So another little side scroller part here. It really is just kind of to try to blow through these enemies. Even if you kill them faster, slower, it doesn't at all advance the game. It is all set on a time cycle. So as soon as the enemies dash at you, if you don't hit them, no big deal. So Wolf is now at the Ninja. Ninja is definitely one of the harder bosses in the game. He's one of those people you really have to learn the cycles, kind of figure out his speed, his technique. But once you kind of get his reads down, it's definitely not that bad. Eviona here utilizing the use of the sword to kind of help out, to kind of get through some of these attacks. That really does benefit to make sure that he can get that extra damage in. Now, the ninja can deflect bullets, but he cannot deflect other types of attacks. So Eviona really utilizing that blade there to kind of get through that. They both defeat Ninja very close. So Eviona is about 16 seconds ahead of time here, a little bit of time traveling. So Eviona is technically about 16 seconds behind, but on our screen here we can definitely see that they're at the exact same spot. So another little side scroll part. You can deflect the purple bullets in the game. You really can't deflect any of the orange. So trying to get a good pathing here is kind of nice. But since we're playing on non-arcade, this is just the story. If you die, you just restart back from the last checkpoint. So keeping your health up isn't super crucial. Now, dying on a boss is completely different. If you die on a boss, it really does make a pretty good game changer there. As soon as you die on a boss, you have to restart that boss over. So if you get that boss down to 1 health and then you die, you have to start the entire boss over, which is a huge time loss. Wolf and Eviona both starting the boss. Eviona almost wrapping it up. Wolf is trying to kind of navigate these platforms here, and the white gun, while very powerful, you really have to land those shots. If you can't land those shots due to all the extra rockets and stuff, it will slow you down just a tad. They both complete the boss here, so Rex Rocket, all done. Now we'll be jumping on the ship here. I'll see how both players contest here. Eviona with some really good pathing. Unfortunately, we no longer have our skip, so now we do have to fight this fun chaff spammer boss. Eviona making really good use out of the katana. We'll see what Wolf uses here to try to kind of get advantage with some extra weaponry. Yes, the rock is definitely very, very good. Rockets not only do an AoE explosion damage, he's going to do damage to the boss, and he's also going to destroy those little capsules. So by doing that, it's really going to help speed him up. Eviona now switching over to using his blades to kind of blow through these obstacles pretty quickly. The same thing can be done with Rocket. Wolf now completing Chaff Spammer. Eviona almost going through. Now this is a literal side scroller. Now one interesting thing about the side scroller here is if you actually take damage during the side scroller, it actually slows down the scrolling speed. So while it is a side scroller, it is very crucial you do not get hit. Getting hit here can easily lose you about 7 seconds. Like the time it takes to kind of get that speed back up is very, very crucial. So you do not want to have to stop that. Eviona now starting on the Robos. So the first Robo we're going to fight here is Guppy. Wolf definitely not far behind. So the Robos here are actually the bosses from the first game, just coming back with a little reskin. So it's kind of fun, kind of nostalgic to kind of come back to the same bosses that you fought before in the first game. Wolf is now going to be starting Robo Guppy. Eviona now starting on Gibby and Stu. My two favorite worms in the game. Worms that can fly around and shoot bullets from their mouths. Nothing wrong with that. Wolf is holding an S rank, that definitely allowing him to be able to do a lot more damage with that white gun. Eviona almost threw worms, but Wolf, as long as he takes no damage here, he should be able to catch up. Eviona now starting the second to last Robo, or Robo White. And then we have Wolf, who is still in an, he just got his S rank back. Now he's able to get some damage out. So as long as he's able to keep up this damage without getting hit, he just got hit once, so he dropped onto a B rank, but he can easily get back up, just because there's a lot of things to hit for the fighting the worms. Unfortunately, when you kill the worms, they actually don't just immediately despawn. So you can see there, Wolf actually got hit. So what happened was, even though you defeat one of the worms, they're still on a cycle, and that cycle has to be finished. So what happened was he killed the boss, and then the second worm came out and hit him, which forced him to kind of take the extra damage. So that was kind of unfortunate. He did defeat White, and now he's on Robo Bunny. Eviona just clearing Robo Bunny, now going to be heading to the next stage. So the race was actually very close, very, very close. Because you have to look here, the timers are a little bit off, so Eviona a little bit ahead in the future. So the timing is actually a lot closer than what it looks like right now. So now we have Eviona trying to clear to get to the next boss, the segment slider. Wolf just wrapping up Bunny here. Big hit. So Wolf clearing Bunny. Now it has to go into just the general, just getting to the Robo Slider. Now Robo Slider is really RNG based. He has a lot of different attacks, and one of the attacks he can do, he shoots out his defense to you. But while he is still in, when he still has those there, you can't use bullets, so you really have to utilize using the blade or rockets, you know, any kind of extra weaponry. Laser, I think, also does some good damage. And he can also shoot those pods at you in a very unique way, so that you really have to learn how to dodge them properly. If not, you really kind of fall behind. And it is pretty RNG based. You can get some good ones, you get some really bad ones. So getting some really precise jumps really does help out. So you can see Wolf just starting the segment slider here. Eviona setting up for the Nemesis core. So the Nemesis core here, it's very, very intricate. So it has a couple different attacks. Nothing is super hard, but by sitting on its eye, there's a way you can deflect from every bullet. That way you get a lot of extra damage out. So it's kind of crucial for your positioning. And if you're off even just by a little bit, you'll get hit. So you really have to kind of know like what pixels to stay on, what pixels not to stay on. You can see Wolf just defeating up the segment slider there. So he has to now do the fun part of navigating himself to the Nemesis core. Now he does have a B style, so a B style is definitely going to help him out. By the time he gets to the Nemesis core, he should have his S rank. So yeah, there it is. His S rank is fully completely done. Nemesis Core 2 is where Eviona is at currently. Now the Core 2, you have to destroy all of his shields to kind of get some bullets in there. Now when Wolf is fighting him, he can easily just kind of bypass that, so I'll definitely help him out. There's going to be a couple different parts where Wolf's going to have some good advantages with the extra weaponry. Wolf being able to shoot and just kind of take out, oh, got hit there once, so now he dropped on the B ring. So the white gun is very, very strong and very beneficial, but it's only good once you're in A rank or higher. A rank is not not fantastic, but definitely still usable. It's when you're in S rank, it's really where you get that full benefit. So you can see Wolf here using the rocket launcher to kind of just blow away the defenses immediately without having to wait. So Eviona had to knock back the rockets that are supplied by the Nemesis core, where Wolf can just blow them away. So as long as he gets a good fast kill here, he should be catching up in just a moment. Absolutely done right there. So Nemesis core completely beat. So Eviona now fighting the anti-battalion. So this guy can turn into a bunch of different things. He can be turning into giant saws. He can become Pac-Man. He can do lots of. I think there's one where he can shark right there, and that one he jumps right underneath you. Can use some good hits in. Now the Pac-Man one is really nice. This one's awful just because when it's turning into these little bullets, it takes a long time for him to to mold back and forth. But you get a lot of deflect damage, so that's where the benefit comes in from there. So it's kind of good at knowing like which forms are good, which forms are bad, and really how to utilize your damage on each one. Wolf now starting anti-battalion. Eviona just clearing anti-battalion, so they're really close. And like I've been saying, their timer's a little bit off, so you can definitely see Eviona's 15 seconds ahead of time. So really, Wolf is very close. So he did unfortunately get the bullet one, so he does lose a little bit of time here, and that is kind of unfortunate. But he just needs a good one like this, a Saw, a Pac-Man, any of those kind, where he can just get a bunch of shots. Anytime that it splits into bullets, anytime it's doing dives, anytime it's becoming untargetable, that's where he's losing a lot of his damage. So he really needs to get those really good ones. The one where he sits in the sky like this is pretty nice. As long as he's not hitting any extra bullets, he can get some good damage. Eviona on the final boss, Valentine. Valentine has 3 phases. This is phase A, so pretty simple. It's just a classic shoot 'em, dodge the attacks, nothing too crazy. Wolf now completing his boss, now can be moving on to Valentine. Eviona gave some good RNG, nothing too crazy here. Eviona completing phase A, so there's a timer in between each one. It takes a little bit. Once you beat Valentine 3 times, we'll be moving on to our final stage. So here, Valentine has a couple different attacks. So learning each one is kind of crucial. There's nothing super RNG based for phase 1 and phase 2. Honestly, you can lose some time, you can gain some time, but there's nothing super significant that'd be like a run killer. This deck here, while it does hit quite often, it's not that bad. Just because even if you get hit, you don't lose a whole lot of damage. Wolf now in the stage, he has to build back up to that S rank. So you can see him here just kind of shooting, trying to get any kind of damage he can in as soon as he gets back up. So now into an A rank. So you see he switched to switch when he was on B, which is a lower damage, but by switching weapons it actually builds your style faster. So now he's going into phase 2, phase B here, with an S rank, which means a lot more damage. Eviona, very close to dying actually here. So if he dies, he will revert back to fighting Valentine on stage 3, which isn't a huge time loss, but the fact that the health bar is so low, he would have to refight the entire thing. Fantastic. And now the final one. So you have A, B, and C, and then the actual final stage is D, where they basically have shield, but it's nothing crazy. And Eviona falls off and dies. I wonder why they did that. So they use that, skip the animation. They can kind of just clear the extra sit there waiting. So kind of skip the free phase. It's actually a smart idea. And then you have Wolf, who is currently wrapping up phase 3 here. And ooh, good deflect there for Wolf. Eviona just clearing the final stage. Now the final stage isn't going to be super hard for Wolf, just because he does have a little bit extra weaponry in his pouch there. So they're actually really close. Wolf getting some really good RNG there too. The ones you really don't want for Valentine, for the final attacks, is you don't want Valentine to keep disappearing and just teleporting. It just takes a lot more time to get your damage out. Wolf now using rockets to break that shield, can completely skip this phase basically, just shoots rockets, switch over to white, and to get the damage. So really quick attacks here, and Wolf now completing completing Valentine. You can see Eviona now fighting Mantis Core Mach 2. So Mantis Core is actually from the first game as well. This is the Mach 2 version. So a couple extra little attacks. On normal mode, it's nothing too crazy, but it definitely is kind of annoying once you get here. Mantis Core has a couple of deflect attacks, which are really good. That was actually some really strong RNG right there from Eviona, which makes it very beneficial. Just realized my timer never started. Well, that's good. Oh, actually, I think I reset mine. My bad. Wolf now starting his Mantis Core, while Eviona is now starting Whale Core. So unfortunately, even with extra gear and all that, Wolf does not have any extra benefit until he can actually get that rank, that style up. If he does not get his style up all the way, then he really has no extra benefit for like, these next couple of fights. There's no extra like little loopholes to kind of get some extra damage in. It's just kind of having to wait and see what happens there. Evian just wrapping up Mantis, Whale Core, and Wolf is now starting his Whale Core. Eviona starting his Spider Core Mach 2, also a return from the first game. So here Wolf does have the A rank, so as long as he does not get hit, he can get some deflects, get some attacks in, and now he does keep his S rank. So all he has to do now is get some good shots. Now, the the Whale Core actually isn't that hard to beat if you have that style up, just because as long as you don't get hit, you get tons of damage. The person kind of moves off the screen once in a while, but nothing too significant. Eviona beating Spider Core Mach 2 and going into Crawling Core. Now, Crawling Core on very hard. It is very challenging. It is one of those bosses that it takes a little bit to kind of get used to. On normal, it's not so bad. Its shots are very, very minor. It'll shoot once in a while, nothing too crazy. And you got some good deflex, so you got a lot of time to shoot and attack. Where if you play on very hard, the hardest difficulty in the game, it is constantly just shooting laser. It is constantly moving, and its speed is a lot tougher to dodge. Wolf getting some really good damage over here. Eviona now starting the rival, the final boss in the game. Now it has 2 health bars, so Eviona does have to do a significant amount of damage to try to get bypast this boss. Now, there's a lot of RNG in here. If you fight him and he gives you, he pulls out his sword, there's really not a whole lot you can do. You have to just run around and wait until he puts the sword away. Now, for Wolf, Wolf has a lot of extra guns at his disposal, making it so if he does pull out his sword, he can easily just shoot him with rockets. Now, Eviona's about to wrap up here, but like I said, Wolf and Eviona did start on a little bit different times, so we need to kind of keep watching. And we'll see what Eviona ends at and see if Wolf can still come back. It is pretty close, so Wolf is now going into the final boss, where if he does use his blade and his sword, there's not a whole lot that will stop him, as he can still use his rockets. Alright, Wolf now approaching his rival here. So we'll see how fast he gets this, and we'll see, because if he gets some good RNG, he might be able to kind of come pretty close. See, now here's the sword. See, now Wolf able to switch to different options of weaponry to get some extra damage out, where Eviona was unable to do so, just for the fact that when Eviona was playing, Eviona loses the opportunity to use any kind of attacks while in that state. I'm gonna go and switch over here to his sound so you can kind of hear it. Let's see what we got here. There we go. Wrapping up his rival right now, not too far behind. And finished. And the time is 24:12 against 23:21. Actually, only less than a minute behind. So it's actually really nicely done. Both runners doing really well. A couple obvious, things we had situations going on, but definitely really close. Well, let's go ahead and see how our runners are doing here. Oops, forgot to drop a link. My bad. So, let's see. Are both runners willing to play one more round at least? Give Eviona that nice little Sunday. Wolf does have to head off, unfortunately. So it was a very good run. I appreciate both runners coming out and doing this test stream. Hopefully it went pretty well. We'll be checking the VOD and making sure everything's good, checking audio and all that. But overall, it was a really solid run for both runners, and I really appreciate your time. Awesome. Thank you.